Oh god. So they really like I think they suspended me from streaming on TikTok, which really sucks. This is using the Cold War RPD. It might just be the Cold War RPD. Garage and Drop poster. Man, this guy is him. Wait, power's in there? The garage? Bet. Let me get that open. Oh my god, hello, bye bye. No, 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 whoa, whoa. Wait, did it just bug out? Okay. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Oh my god, I just slammed that shit against the desk. So, TikTok is having issues. So, like, I won't be able to stream on there. I don't know why. That, if they, like, pulled the stream key away from me, that would be insane. Let me actually check my emails. Because there's no way that they would close my TikTok. This is honestly weird. Why did TikTok remove my stream? That is just so weird. Some features are no longer available because of age restriction. We have reviewed your live and found that your live content violates our community guidelines. What? That doesn't make sense, bro. So, like, they've removed my ability to literally stream? Am I not allowed to play zombies on TikTok? Unbelievable. Gonna make you wanna boogie. Okay, we go. Oh, y'all come through. Yeah. Look at them. Look at them. They're garbage. Absolutely. Oh, God. Alright, let's, see. Okay. Don't jump scare me like that. Oh, my God, man. What's average right here? And triple. I mean, Speed Cola is right here. Black Ops 4 Public Beta. Black Ops 3. Fortnite. Call of Duty World War II. Bruh. The era of mid. Oh my god. Let's grab double tap.
I shall draw my weapon with the swiftness of spirits. Knows no fear, knows no pain.
Let's go.
Say, I saw you.
Freaking cost that much? What?
Fortune smiles upon us. We must find ammo. There was once a time when I forged my own
Zombie blood.
Zombie blood. Come on, peek out. Boom. Peek out. Boom. Boom. Peek out. Boom. Are these zombies really going through the wall? Oh, hell nah.
Forged in fire, bound by magic. This machine holds many mysteries.
Zombie blood.
Magma Gap. Bink.
Been purified. With the blessings of my ancestors, I shall vanquish many demons.
I shall vanquish many demons. Uh-oh. I wanna be the reason you die, Mink. Uh-oh.
Here's my ammunition.
It would be kinda crazy if I were to die. Just kinda. Just...
We may free the tiger at the front gate, but the wolf awaits at the back. Blessings from the spirits. Sometimes my dreams are a portent of the future. I fear what more my vision.
Okay. Reload the gun. Reload the gun! Reload the gun! Ooh, I get a simple monkey. Imagine I could reek back a bunch of this, bruh. Ah! I accidentally harmed myself. That little monkey was beautiful. How dare it die? Ruh-roh. Look at all these hands. Put your hands to the ground. Put your hands in the air. Put your hands in the air. Bro said quite the opposite, bro. Uh-oh. He. Die! You all fucking die! Ah! I hear the zombies. Everyone get stockpiled. Let's go. Come on. Stop. Stop the inspect.
Before the might of the honorable.
Coming down. You just know that we are OGs, Mink. Mink. That's it. Look. They're not gonna touch me for the next 2 seconds. Yeah.
Zombie blood.
With such presence, vanquish the demons.
Is zombies in Spaceland at? Ooh, behind me. Behind me is a zombie.
Of the virtuous. Rewards.
500 for... Okay, that was clickbait. I forgot I had a PhD. Hello? You ain't gonna die? Oh, vendetta, vendetta. Bro made this mid like 2018, bro. Like, well, late 2018. Bro.
Such a reward is opportunity to prove our dedication to this slaughter. Such tedious labors are necessary for our survival.
And yeet. Yeah. Yeah, come on, bro. Now let's buy some ammo. I forgot it was clickbait money. God fuck. God damn it. Oh my god. Brother. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. Please entertain yourselves for the time being by watching this okay. Now you're gonna watch very cool, very nice compilation, okay? I will be right back, alright?
What's up guys, this is Merc Music and welcome to my review of the Black Ops 6 beta. Is Black Ops 6 gonna be the best Call of Duty game ever made, or is it gonna be trash? Or more realistically, is Black Ops 6 gonna be a nice juicy steak that just got over seasoned with skill-based matchmaking? Let's find out. For this video, I want to list everything that I thought was good, neutral, or bad about the Black Ops 6 beta. The good things obviously being things that I liked, things that I think don't necessarily need changing or improving. Things that are neutral could end up going one of two ways. They could end up either making the game better or worse depending on how Treyarch potentially changes or improves those things. And for that reason, I'm probably going to take a little bit of extra time to explain how they could improve some of those different things. And then ultimately, to finish my Black Ops 6 beta review, we're going to wrap things up with the bad things, the things that I personally thought were terrible and that Treyarch definitely needs to improve upon for the full launch of the game. Now, as a quick little disclaimer, I'm recording this before the second weekend, before the free weekend of the Black Ops 6 beta. I personally don't think there's going to be that big of drastic changes or improvements coming from the first weekend to the second weekend of the beta. I could be wrong. wrong. I'm feeling pretty certain that the good things on my list won't necessarily degrade from the first weekends to the second weekends, but maybe some of the neutral or bad things could get better. We're gonna be able to level up like 10 more times, have access to a couple more guns and some more perks. It's not gonna be anything too crazy. But without further ado, let's talk about the things that were good in the Black Ops 6 beta. Right off the bat, let's talk about the visuals. The game has extremely good fidelity on PC specifically, but even on the PS4 version of the game, it somehow manages to look good, which is kind of crazy. Treyarch had roughly 3 to 4 years to work on Black Ops 6, and when it comes to the visuals, it definitely shows. The lighting on the various maps look gorgeous, the reflections on different surfaces, the actual texture quality themselves, and honestly, the game just looks and runs extremely smooth once you have your settings down. And when I'm discussing visuals, I feel like I'm mostly envisioning the maps themselves, which the maps did look very good. There's a good variety. They're very distinct from each other. As far as it goes for maps, I want to give a special shout out to both Scud and Skyline because they both had very unique features on them. Scud brought back red barrels like all over the map, which if you're a classic Call of Duty fan, red barrels are something that we used to see all the time on Call of Duty maps, and it feels like we haven't had that in quite a while, and Scud did a really good job of having them spread out throughout the map. But I do feel like Skyline is just like a quintessential Black Ops map. It just screams Treyarch. Visually, it has to be the nicest looking map in the beta. It's also small to medium size. It's very fast paced. It did get overplayed in the beta for sure. Like, tons of people wanted to play that map more than anything. And since we have map voting and you can also vote for random maps as well, Skyline ended up popping up a lot, and for a good reason. It also has a secret underground path that has a security system that can actually dynamically change the flow of the map. And on top of that as well, they also gave the map a secret RCXD path, which is just, that's so classic Treyarch, classic Black Ops. It really does feel like Skyline is basically the Nuketown of Black Ops 6, which by the way, every single map that we've played in this beta is a brand new map. There's no repeat maps, there's no remasters, at least as of now, which I also think is a big positive. We just played Modern Warfare 3 last year, and most of the maps are just remasters of older maps. So honestly, it's great to be able to play and experience some new maps in a new Call of Duty game. Next up, let's talk about the identity of Black Ops 6. There's been a lot of recent Call of Duty games where people are saying that the games have an identity crisis or they have no identity, but I feel like Black Ops 6 does this pretty well, although as we keep moving forward in this video, it's also going to be something that's in the neutral section. But overall, the identity of the maps were pretty solid. You can very distinctly tell one map from the next, and even though the majority of the weapon names in the game, they're using fake names, they're not using the real weapon names, it's very obvious that Black Ops 6 is taking heavy inspiration from US weaponry as well as Russian weaponry, and overall everything is very much era appropriate, whether that's the weapons themselves, the operators, which and we will get into that later, but especially the maps and also a lot of the different UI and HUD choices in the game as well. But hey, there's a reason why they call me Merc Music. It's because I like music, and when it comes to the music in Black Ops 6, it slaps. The main menu theme for multiplayer is going hard, and I've heard some of the other music that they've been showing, whether that's Zombies music or even just, you know, other music that was used, I think, during some of their live events. Obviously, Jack Wall is a legend. He's worked on so many iconic soundtracks that we've loved from previous Black Ops games. But overall, I just want to give a shout out to anyone that was working on the music for the game as well as just the overall sound design, because honestly, even when it comes to identity, the weapon sounds sound very distinct and unique from each other, which is great. It makes every single weapon in the game feel more unique and distinct from each other. Same thing goes for headshot sounds and other sound effects that were used throughout the Black Ops 6 beta. Just the audio team, they knocked it out of the park. But next up, man, we can't talk about Black Ops 6 without talking about the body shield mechanic. This is a brand new mechanic for multiplayer, at least, where you can take an enemy player as a meat shield, and it's not only hilarious, but it turns out that it's actually practical as well. There's no way you heard about the Black Ops 6 beta without seeing some viral clips of some, pretty interesting moments happening.
Oh, you want to kiss each other?
I'm getting sponsored.
It probably got to the point where some people saw these clips and it was probably too funny for them, let's be honest. Some people on the internet are pretending to be shocked or appalled on someone else's behalf, but realistically, the meat shield clips, they are hilarious. It has easily, hands down, gotta be one of the most fun features we've had in Call of Duty multiplayer in quite some time, and I think, honestly, it might be one of the best features of Black Ops 6 multiplayer so far. Now, obviously, the usefulness of the feature itself kind of needs to be tested because, you know, I would take people as a body shield, but then one of the enemy teammates would just end up killing me relatively quickly, and it didn't really feel like I had a body shield at all times. But on the flip side of the coin, I've also seen clips of people taking someone as a body shield, and then they go on to get like a quad feed, spraying people down with the Jackal PDW, and then they execute the person that they were holding as a meat shield. So maybe I'm just a scrub, maybe I didn't have enough luck when I was using the feature, but overall, the premise of the body shield feature is that if you can get behind an enemy, if you tap your melee button twice, you can take them as a body shield, and you can either quickly execute them on the spot, or you can do a full-blown finishing move. But once once you have them in the body shield animation, they cannot do anything at all except for maybe turn off their PlayStation or Xbox. They would have to rage quit the game in order to get out of the body shield feature, which actually I have seen some clips where people do that, but that's mostly because once you take an enemy as a meat shield, it automatically turns on prox chat. Like, you can hear the enemy player and you can also talk to them as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that VoIP feature where you can talk to the enemy and they can hear what you're saying, that is why this is the most goated feature in quite some time for a Call of Duty multiplayer. But overall, as we move forward in this video, I also do think that it needs some tweaking and improving, but we'll get there in a bit. Next up, let's talk about the return of the best play feature, because I'm a little iffy on it depending on what the game mode is. At a bare minimum, I feel like Search and Destroy and Free-for-All should have kill cams, possibly even TDM. But I will say that in the Black Ops 6 beta, it seems like they improved the best play feature. It feels like the timing of the clips themselves is actually better, and the game typically does pick the best moment that happened in the match.
Which tends to be a double kill with the Jackal PDW.
I'm kidding, but I've had a lot of different quad feeds, because as you guys know, I do quad feed with every gun every single year, and I usually get a head start by playing the betas of the game. And more often than not, if I got a clean quad feed or if I got like a split 5 or 6 man feed, that was usually going to be the play of the game. Another amazing feature that came back with the Black Ops 6 beta, and it's going to be in the full multiplayer as well, is the winner's circle. If you guys are big fans of Black Ops 3, you're going to be really happy to see this return, because basically the top 3 players of the winning team, they get showcased at the end. You can see their skin. But what makes this feature so much fun is the fact that, like in previous COD games as well, you can spam your emotes at the end. So it just ultimately looks really goofy. It's a dumb, silly, but fun feature that's coming back, and I can't wait to see what other kinds of emotes are going to be added in Black Ops 6's multiplayer when it's fully out. Because ultimately in the Black Ops 6 beta, the shushing emote is the one that tended to be spammed the most. Which, by the way, that's another fun feature that is back here in Black Ops 6's multiplayer as well, in-game emotes. Now, obviously, since this is just the beta for Black Ops 6, we were limited as to what emotes we could use, but I'm sure we'll be twerking in no time just like we could in Black Ops 4. But for real, this is just another little dumb, silly, fun feature that's in the multiplayer of the game, and overall, I do think it is a good thing. I know some players are not the biggest fans of being able to do emotes in game, but honestly, I think you need to just have more fun. It's just a video game, man. I feel like some people take it too seriously, and being able to do emotes in game is fun. But next up, let's talk about the kill feed in the game. I feel like it moves at a decent speed. It's not moving faster than it was in Modern Warfare 3. If anything, it feels kind of slower, but it seems like Treyarch also might have improved the kill feed by having less interruptions. So like if someone leaves the game or if they connect to the match, you can see that near the kill feed, but it doesn't actually interrupt it or split feeds, which is really nice. But overall, going forward for Call of Duty games, I think it would be really nice if we could have more customization control over the kill feed itself, whether that's the size of the kill feed, how many guns show up in the kill feed itself, how long it stays on the screen, possibly even changing colors and fonts. I think that would be really dope, especially because of this next feature that is also brand new for Call of Duty multiplayer, which is the HUD presets. This really allows you to tweak and customize your HUD. Now, obviously, I'm a basic bitch. I basically kept that thing on default, except for changing the minimap from circle to square. But overall, I do think that this is a great quality of life feature, and I know that there's definitely going to be some people out there running different HUD presets compared to just the default HUD that the game gives you. As a prime example, I've got a buddy, his name is Solba, and he plays Call of Duty multiplayer on an ultra wide kind of setup. And he was telling me that the HUD is typically too far away, like it's on the absolute outer edges of the ultra wide. And even though I'm blanking on the name of the HUD presets that he chose, he did change it to one of the HUD presets that basically kind of brings in those HUD elements more to the center of the screen. I'm not trying to drag this on for too long or harp on it, but I just think it's really nice that we have HUD presets, and I can't wait to see if there's going to be more of these available in the full game. Honestly, at this point, I can't remember if I did mention it, but I'm going to mention it again anyway if I forgot. But the death animations are absolutely hilarious. Treyarch created hundreds, if not thousands, of unique death animations depending on what you died to in the game, whether that's a kill from a shotgun or a sniper rifle or, you know, a grenade explosion. This goes hand in hand with the visual fidelity of the game. It's just that extra little bit of attention to detail that they put into Black Ops 6's multiplayer that just makes it feel so much more unique than what we typically experience. And if you guys have been keeping up with my Black Ops 6 videos, you might have seen this one.
What in the? What am I looking at? What?
Absolutely hilarious, man. Now, for controller players, this next one might not sound as great. I know that keyband players are having an absolute field day with this, and it is the reduction of rotational aim assist. I think it's at like 3 meters or less. If an enemy player basically sprints right past you or dives or slides right next to you, rotational aim assist on controller is not going to kick in, which basically means that the game is not going to turn for you, which massively increases the competitiveness of super close range gunfights. And that really does help level the playing field between 40-year-old dads playing this game on their 65-inch plasma screen TV after a long day at work versus us PC elitists who are playing on our perfect $10,000 PC, sitting in our perfect $10,000 gaming chair with our $10,000 keyboards and mices.
Yes, this is just a joke.
But overall, I do feel like this is a good change. I play Call of Duty on both controller and keyboard and mouse, and the aim assist has gotten kind of out of hand, a little too strong in recent years. It makes playing other games on controller feel worse, and overall, I do think it's good to see some kind of reduction in aim assist on controller. But guys, this is it. This is the last good thing I have to say about the Black Ops 6 beta. This is the last little bit of glaze going on that jelly donut, and it is classic perks and the specialty perks in Black Ops 6. I really do like that we have what feels more like an actual perk system in the game versus, you know, like the boots and gear and gloves in Modern Warfare 3. It just feels right, man. It feels good to have blue, red, and green perks coming back, but at the same time, if you pick all red or all blue or all green perks, you're also given a little specialty bonus. You get an extra perk, and depending on which one you pick, it gives you a pretty massive bonus. Throughout the first weekend of the beta, I basically exclusively ran all red perks because that essentially gives you quick fix. There's no other way to really get quick fix in the game, and since the default health regen is a little slow, it feels like, it's nice to have quick fix in the game because then you don't feel like you have to run stim shots as a crutch. But JDs and Lentilman, that is gonna do it for the good section of the video. Now let's talk about the neutral. We're actually gonna be going back to the identity of the game. I know that I said it was a positive thing, and it still is. However, I do want to talk about the operators and the weapon blueprints that you get for pre-ordering the Vault edition of the game, because it makes the game feel more goofy and less serious. I'm not saying this is necessarily a deal breaker. I mean, on Modern Warfare 3 last year, there were all kinds of ridiculous skins, and I bought quite a bit of them because they were fun, they were goofy. But just because it's not a deal breaker for me personally doesn't mean that it's not going to be a deal breaker for someone else. And if someone sees, you know, like a Brutus skin or a Klaus skin running around the game, sliding all over the place with their shiny, fancy, you know, Jackal PDW pre-order blueprint skin, that might make them not want to play the game. If they see some ridiculous goofball going around the game in these wacky skins using their wacky guns, it might be a little bit of a turnoff for some players. And overall, since this is the beta of the multiplayer, it almost kind of feels like they're trying to initiate us, like they want us to have that expectation that this game is not going to have super serious milsim Black Ops operators. Like, no, we're probably going to be getting clowns and anime skins in a matter of months. And that's why I'm kind of conflicted. Like, that's why I don't think this is a fully bad thing, because they're kind of being honest about what the game's going to turn into in a matter of months. But I think it goes without saying that seeing anime skins and all these flashy animations and blueprints, at least for some of the guns,
It is definitely going to break our immersion.
Okay, so that's it for identity. Now let's talk about the body shield again. I know, I praised this. I said it was like the most goated feature, right? However, it is kind of inconsistent on controller, at least. There were a number of times when I got behind an enemy player and I tried to click the button twice, and instead it would just melee the guy once in the back, then he'd turn around and I'd either finish him off and kill him or he'd kill me. Kind of embarrassing. Not gonna lie, it kind of sucks when you have that advantage and you have the ability to do it, but the input itself isn't actually working. I think a simple solution for this would be if there's a way to rebind the ability to take someone as a body shield on controller, like if there's a different button you could click. Because I will say, on keyboard and mouse, performing a body shield was way easier because you can actually just bind it to a specific key. When I was playing the Black Ops 6 beta on keyboard and mouse, I didn't have to click my melee button twice. I just programmed it to one of my mouse buttons. So yeah, it would be great if they could try to improve this for the full launch of the game. Next up is the builds feature in the game. It seems like a good feature once you kind of understand it and once you played around with it, but at first I just straight up found this annoying. I had multiple classes with the same sniper. Like, as a specific example, I wanted to make multiple classes with the LR762. I wanted to have a class for just regular reg scope quick scoping. I wanted to have a red dot sniper, and I wanted to have one where I would increase the bullet penetration and the hipfire accuracy so I could go for like crazy diving no scopes and stuff. I had made 3 different classes for 3 different playstyles of sniping, but for some reason, it kept replacing all the attachments for all the builds. And dude, I was so confused because I hadn't even made a custom build up until that point, but it just kept copying my attachments no matter what I was doing. I feel like as time goes on, this feature will make more sense and it won't be as confusing to idiots like me, but I do feel like this could be a pain point for some of the dum-dums that are playing the game, and maybe Treyarch could have some kind of quick little tutorial or an explanation of how to actually use the builds feature in the game. Because at first you're gonna find it pretty annoying, but once you figure it out, it's not that bad. Next up, let's talk about the time to kill and weapon balance in the Black Ops 6 beta. Now, I'm sure some of you guys would have probably found this to just straight up be in the bad section. Without a doubt, for the first weekends of the game, the Jackal PDW SMG dominated. the entire game. And what's ironic about that is that it apparently has a slower time to kill at its maximum damage range compared to the C9, which is basically the MP5 of the game. However, that doesn't really tell the full story of the Jackal PDW. It was clearly head and shoulders above everything else in the game in terms of its damage range performance, its overall ease of use. I mean, dude, it's the first default class that you get in the Black Ops 6 beta. It's one of the first guns that everyone gets their grubby little paws on, and once they touch the gun, they're not going to get their paws off. Now, I have seen some tweets that are implying that it's going to be nerfed for the second weekend of the beta, but I don't necessarily want them to do that quite yet, and you'll see why in the bad section of the video later on. But overall, for the neutral section of the video, I do think that the Jackal was too overtuned. It was too strong. And as far as it goes for the time to kill and the weapon balance in the game, I also kind of feel like rapid fire could end up becoming a crutch, because once you unlock that, it does seem like it's going to reduce the time to kill for a lot of different weapons. But even aside from that, like, rapid fire felt like it was a crutch for the LR762. Like, the default sniper just does not have a fast enough fire rates to keep up with the fast-paced nature of the game. Same thing pretty much goes for the shotgun as well as some of the pistols in the game. Like, once you get rapid fire unlocked for them, they become significantly better. And maybe that's worth looking into, but it's also kind of hard to say because the time to kill, the weapon balance, it's all very much a fine balance, and we don't want the time to kill of this game to get too ridiculously fast. I just feel like Treyarch is going to have to be mindful of the weapon balance and how the attachments are also affecting it as well. It's definitely not easy, man. I mean, a prime example too is the SWAT marksman rifle. That thing was super underrated. Like, that thing was potentially better than the Jackal PDW in certain situations. Like, it's just extremely consistent. It's like a one burst kill in a lot of different scenarios. And I don't know if you could get rapid fire unlocked for it, but if you could, man, that thing's probably gonna be slapping the second weekend of the beta. Now, this next thing I'm gonna mention might surprise you guys because I didn't put it on the good section of the Black Ops 6 beta, but I also feel like it's not a bad thing either. I feel like it's somewhere in the middle, and that's going to be Omni Movement. In case you haven't heard, which you definitely have because it's been like the #1 selling point of the game, is this new feature called Omni Movement. It allows you to slide or dive sideways or backwards, basically in any direction. And it does completely change how you move around in Call of Duty multiplayer. It's very different, it's brand new. However, I do feel like there's almost an overemphasis on the Omni Movement system. Like, when it comes down to it, we're playing an FPS game, aim is still king. Like, if you have bad aim, the movement is not really going to help you. You're just going to look like a goofy little dolphin flopping all over the place. But if you are a player who has really good aim, you can now incorporate more advanced movement into your playstyle to become an unstoppable killing machine. This does mean that the game is going to be a little bit more competitive by default, and it's not going to be as casual, but obviously we do have skill-based matchmaking to protect players who are going to be, you know, flopping around like dolphins, not hitting anything. But when it comes to the movement in Black Ops 6, there are a couple of things that I want to mention and that I do want to caution everyone about. The first thing is that when it comes to spamming the Omni Movement, it really feels like the only weapon choice or like the kind of playstyle that is really going to work well with this movement system is SMGs. There's a reason why I tweeted out Klaus of Duty Jackal Ops 6. It's because that kind of playstyle with a broken or meta SMG sliding and diving all over the place and dumping all over some noobs, that is going to be the default try-hard meta playstyle. And here's the thing, man. What the sweaty movement kings of TikTok don't understand is that they are able to outplay and do this stuff because mechanically, basically everything else in the game can't keep up with that. It's just not possible. If you try to do this with like an LMG or a sniper, the guns themselves are a little too clunky. They handle too slow to be able to keep up with this type of playstyle. It's already upsetting enough that there's people out there that just want to spam the meta AR or spam the meta SMG in casual public playlists and dookie all over people who are just trying to play it in a variety of ways and have fun. But now in Black Ops 6's multiplayer, that's going to be coupled with a movement system that allows them to get away with even more frustrating and annoying things to deal with. And overall, those guns that just feel too slow or clunky that people have been kind of complaining about, even if you get like decent attachments to put on them, maybe look into speeding those weapons up so that way they have more of a chance of competing with SMGs. Because I just feel like going forward for Black Ops 6's multiplayer, if nothing changes and the game is basically just left the same, SMGs are going to dominate this game way too much. Now, the last thing I want to talk about for the neutral section is maybe going to be a little controversial, so let's just go ahead and rapid fire some other things that I was going to talk about as well. Black Ops 6 multiplayer now has a dedicated melee slot, so you have to hold down your melee button in order to pull out a knife, which I know that some players are not huge on, especially because the combat knife itself seems to have basically no lunge, which almost makes it useless. It's a miracle that I was able to pull off a clean quad feed with this thing in the beta so far, but yeah, I think that the dedicated melee could use some improving for sure. One thing that was also not present in the beta was a firing range or advanced stats for the weapons, but these are things that could be coming in the full launch of Black Ops 6's multiplayer. I'm not stressing about it too much, but I do think it's at least fair to mention that it was not present in the beta of the game. But next up, we need to talk about score streaks and launchers, because this could be viewed as a good or bad thing depending on what kind of player you are, but you might have noticed in the Black Ops 6 beta, you had to get quite a lot of score, quite a lot of kills in objective play in order to actually earn your score streaks. I think you had to get, what, like 9 kills or something like that to get a Hellstorm missile? It seems kind of ridiculous until you realize that the score streaks that you're calling in, they can't be shot down with like a couple of shots from a sniper rifle like they could in Modern Warfare 3. If you earn a counter UAV in Black Ops 6, someone's gonna have to be sitting in their spawn spraying an LMG at it to take it down. And you guys might have noticed that there was only one launcher in the beta. It was the Sigma 2B. Sigma 2B or not to be on your class. Well, you're probably gonna wanna run it because much like the OG Modern Warfare 2, you're probably going to need a dedicated class to destroy score streaks in Black Ops 6. Some people might view this as a good thing because it feels more like a classic Call of Duty where the score streaks were higher impact and, you know, they were more useful because they were harder to destroy. And the game basically strongly urges you to run an anti-score streak or anti-kill streak kind of class in the game. But on the flip side, players have also gotten accustomed to just looking up in the sky and shooting score streaks down with a couple of magazines. Overall, score streak and launcher balance, it's all preferential. It comes down to everyone's personal opinions on the matter. I'm just giving you guys that heads up that for Black Ops 6's multiplayer, it seems like the direction Treyarch is going in is that the score streaks are going to be relatively harder to earn on average, but they're also going to be harder to destroy. But guys, that brings us to our last point. The last thing I want to talk about for the neutral section of the Black Ops 6 beta review, which is surprisingly skill-based matchmaking. You guys are probably going to be super confused as to why this is not in the bad section of the video, and honestly, it could go in the bad section of the video as well, but I do want to offer some counterpoints. And I really want you guys to keep in mind that this is specifically pertaining to the Black Ops 6 beta itself, not any of the previous games coming before it. The Black Ops 6 beta really opened my eyes as far as it goes for skill-based matchmaking and how it protects casual players and how it puts nerds in the same lobbies. Because honestly, there were a ton of people just running around sweating with the Jackal, and if you're one of those players who's spamming the movement, sliding and diving all over the place with the easiest to use SMG in the game, you deserve to go into sweaty lobbies, for sure. I was watching this video from Nero Cinema, and he had made an alternate account where he wasn't really trying. He wasn't trying to sweat in the lobbies or even just kill anyone at all. He was just observing low skill-based matchmaking lobbies, and they just seemed so, like, I'm trying to think of the word. I would honestly describe it as wholesome. There were people in there that barely knew how to aim. They weren't spamming movements. They were just in there having a good old time, getting like 5 to 10 kills on average. At one point in the video, I saw him look at an enemy, and the enemy didn't even try to shoot him. They were just teabagging, like walking around. It wasn't even serious at all. And as strange as it sounds, it does kind of feel like lobbies like that and people who are just playing the game for fun and they really do not care at all, they kind of do need protection in some way. Now, before you guys go and have a meltdown in the comment section, I do want to explain where I'm coming from with this perspective, because in the Black Ops 6 beta, I feel like my average KD, like my performance, was wildly all over the place depending on what I was using. All of the gameplay that I've been using in the background of this video so far is just random matches of some of the last games I got to play before they turned the servers off. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything by showing you guys the gameplay. I'm not trying to hide anything. I just play Call of Duty multiplayer for what it is. I don't use some kind of weird VPN. I don't reverse boost. I just play the game. And even though this first weekend of the Black Ops 6 beta was roughly half a week-ish or so long, I got to try out all kinds of different playstyles, man. I was going pistol only. I was running, you know, non-meta SMGs. I was sniping, quick scoping, using just the launcher, even going melee only. So I try to use and play the game in all kinds of different ways. And I'll say this much. If you're one of those in-between players like me who wants to go around and snipe, but then the skill-based matchmaking messes you up and you go like quadruple negative, but then the second you decide to pull out an SMG, you're dropping like a 2 or 3 KD, this game is not going to be any different than previous Call of Duty games. Even to this day, skill-based matchmaking is not smart enough to understand that if you're going around quick scoping, you're going to do worse on average. And it can lead to this really weird, inconsistent experience where you try to go around sniping or use something that's off meta and it's not very good, and in general, you end up performing pretty poorly. So then the game's skill-based matchmaking thinks that you need easier lobbies, but by that point in time, you're getting so frustrated of dying over and over again with something that's not that good that you eventually switch to a weapon or a weapon class that is better, and then you go ahead and stomp everyone, and then the game's like, whoa, hold up, you're too good. We need to put you back into the sweaty lobbies, and then once you get the sweaty lobbies, you're trying to snipe again, and it's this weird cycle, man. Overall, at the moment for Black Ops 6's multiplayer, I just feel very conflicted about skill-based matchmaking, because it feels like, weirdly enough, the game needs a system like this in place to protect really casual players. Overall, if you want to play a multiplayer game that is kind of similar to Call of Duty in terms of gameplay, you can always try out XDefiant. It's free to play and it doesn't have skill-based matchmaking in casual public playlists. But if you're one of those players who doesn't really want to do that, then you're going to be stuck with Call of Duty and you're going to just have to play through it. That's just how it is. I mean, it's been this way since Modern Warfare 2019. Skill-based matchmaking is obviously going nowhere. It's exhausting to keep talking about it because it's just not going to change. However, I do want to say one thing that is different difference this time around about Black Ops 6's matchmaking, and I actually did give this suggestion to Treyarch, and it feels like they might have actually listened, which is the speed of the matchmaking itself. I don't know if you guys might have noticed this, but I absolutely noticed this in the Black Ops 6 beta. It felt like the matchmaking times were a lot faster than what we've seen in the past. Now, I don't know if this is just because the game seems to be more popular, there's a lot more people talking about it and playing it, but it felt like the matchmaking times were actually faster on average. Some of the lobbies themselves didn't even fully disband. I actually had some non-disbanding lobbies in the Black Ops 6 beta, and this was a massive improvement. I gave this feedback to Treyarch when I got to play the game early. I straight up told them that if there's nothing that they can do about skill-based matchmaking, they should at least try to improve the matchmaking times, because it's something that was a staple of older Call of Duty games. You know, back on COD 4, you could look for a team deathmatch and you'd be in the game in the next 10 to 15 seconds. Black Ops 6 isn't quite as lightning fast, but it's definitely faster than some of the recent Call of Duty games. But there is still one big caveat to skill-based matchmaking that a lot of players have complained about over the years, and it's when they start to focus more on the skill rating of the matches themselves, that can lead to a worse connection. It can degrade the connection quality of the matches, which is going to perfectly transition us into the bad section of the Black Ops 6 beta review. The first and most important thing that we need to talk about is the connection in the game. By default, on average, the ping, the desyncing issues, and the packet bursts had to be the worst part of this beta by far. Now again, this is just the beta of Black Ops 6's multiplayer. This stuff could get improved for the full launch of the game. However, the issues with having a bad ping, and especially getting packet bursts, this is something that never got fixed on Modern Warfare 3. And it was
There you go. There you go.
Brothers and sons, purify your souls. Your debt, I will not forget.
What? Oh, wow.